Hello and welcome. My name is Alexis. I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who helps overwhelmed women manage their time, energy, and expectations so they can get all of their big plans and thoughts and dreams and desires and ideas out of their head and onto paper so they can get down to business creating their dream life. If that is you, you're in the right place today because that is what we're going to be talking about today. And the thing I wanted you guys to know today is that your business idea, whatever the business idea is that brought you here today, is necessary. And we're going to talk about this idea that I've got in a moment. I think there's a popularity of female entrepreneurship right now that's happening, and I think it's actually leading a revolution in the way humanity views work that is necessary for kind of like human development on Earth right now. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but for those of you guys, we've talked about this before, actually. I've talked about this in other videos or other lives, that I think right now there's a revolution going on in the way people work. And I think there have been like little mini revolutions in the past, right? Like I can think off the top of my head of like when women actually entered the workforce, especially in large numbers, during the world wars, when the guys were off at war and the women had to work. That started a revolution in work, right? That started a revolution in work. And I think that with the advent of the digital age and digital entrepreneurship, there was another mini revolution in the way that we work. And this concept of, work being, you wake up in the morning, you go to a job, you work 8 hours, then you come home, go to sleep, repeat, do it again. You work 5 days a week, etc. So I think that right now there's a reason that entrepreneurship is popular, specifically female entrepreneurship, because there's a revolution on the planet going on right now with the way people think and view work. Now, let's talk about this. This rise of female-owned brands and businesses is a paradigm shift for a new way of working, right? This is what I really believe. And we've talked about this before, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this if you want to chat about it. So the old concept of working 9 to 5 in an office is dying to make way for more flexible work arrangements that lead to happier employees with richer, more fulfilling lives. For a while now, though, I think that it's been male entrepreneurship and male-dominated industry that's actually enjoyed this true idea of work-life freedom, right? This work-life balance. But I think it's now time for women to make the shift as well. So I think actually one of the good things I think that's coming out of COVID is that it's been helping with this, because in the past, the jobs that were traditionally done by women were jobs that did require them to be in the office, but now we're all working from home, right? And actually, even the people I know still who are having to go into a job a couple of days a week, it's all women I know that have to go in a couple days a week, because the roles that they're fulfilling, right, as administrators, doing payroll, being assistants, or, doing sorts of things that they require to be them in the office, those are roles that women have a lot of the times, those support roles, right? So, I think that for a while, like I said before, the digital revolution gave us the ability to start working from home, to start working remotely, etc. But it was a lot of men doing it, right? That was a lot of men doing it. And I know that there's ladies here who have more experience than me, who've been around longer than me, who have, seen male entrepreneurship and digital entrepreneurship. And I think, because I've been talking about this, I can think of a few people. I don't want to call out any names because I didn't see you here yet, but I've been talking to some of my, followers, some of my, friends in the community about right now seems to be a paradigm shift where I think there's this push online that we're seeing, this messaging, PR, for the rise of the female entrepreneur, because we need it, right? Like, we need to get women on board with this, because out of everyone, I think women are the ones who put in the most effort, the most time, and have the most things going on in terms of really needing the freedom and balance that can come from digital entrepreneurship. So this shift is necessary for greater female equality in the workforce as well, okay? So we know that women make less than men even when they do the same jobs. This happens for a myriad of reasons. We don't have to go into them, but it boils down to men having more respect in the workplace. So when you start your own business online and leave your traditional job behind, you're going to open a space that needs to be filled by someone, likely another woman. Well, it's my belief that when women make this shift, right, when more of us in mass start to do our own thing, run our own business, become female entrepreneurs, it's going to result in an increase in the power dynamic for the women who remain in the corporate systems, right? So let's be honest, ladies, if we all left our jobs tomorrow, right, no women left in the workforce, businesses would crumble. And it's not simply because there are less employees, but because there are no women, because women bring a diverse set of skills and experiences to the table that just can't be replaced. So the increase of female entrepreneurs will ultimately lead to a revolution in the dynamic of the capitalist economic system. We're going really deep here. I'm using a lot of fancy words, but I'm hoping you guys are following along with me right now. We know that right now the economy of capitalism is driven by male-dominated companies and brands. Women are notorious for running more heart-centered and generous business models, generous to their employees, to their customers, to their communities, and to the environment. So ask yourself, what happens to the capitalistic economic model when more women are in charge of businesses? I believe that we're going to see a shift in the view of business from the cold, hard capitalism idea to an economy of love and generosity. And I don't know about you, but that's the world I want to live in. Like, that's the capitalist society I want to live in. The one where capitalism does not have to be, equal to, some sort of cutthroat business. It's not personal, it's business mentality. I would love to live in a capitalist society that is, more heart-centered, more about giving back and being more generous, right? And I think that happens when more of us women rise up, decide, hey, I'm smart, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I have a calling to something, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start a business on this myself. I'm going to ultimately cause an opening to be, filled so someone else can have, my old job. So you're creating jobs by creating your own job, right? And what it's going to do is if more and more of us make this move, I think what's going to happen is women in the workplace will have more respect ultimately. So the last thing I want to say about your business being necessary is that the urge or inkling that you feel to start a brand online is the calling of your soul, right? So many people sit around wondering what their purpose is, but then totally ignore or suppress the inspiration inside of them to start their own business, do their own thing, create what they wish existed in the world, right? If no one has ever told you this before, please let me have the honor of explaining this to you. That feeling that you get that you want to start a business, you want to do something, you have this desire, right? That feeling is your soul telling you what to do with your life to reach happiness and fulfillment. It is your soul telling you what your purpose is. So girlfriend, let me tell you, you already know what you need to do. You just need to overcome the fear and get started. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm hoping to be able to remove some blocks for you so you can get started, because if you came here today, it's because you had an inkling. Right? I'm sure there might be a handful of you who are just watching out of pure curiosity, or you like my other content and you just want to see what I have to say. But the vast majority of you, I'm sure, are here because you have an inkling. You have an inkling that you want to start a brand or business online. There's an inkling for something. And if you've been wondering what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing with your life, what's going to make you happy, like how you, fulfill, the higher calling that's coming to you from the divine, you have to follow what your heart is saying to you, right? So I know for a lot of people, a big problem that they face is, I want to start a business. I don't know which one to start, right? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start a business, not how to start a business. We're going to talk about this, later, but we don't know what we want to do, right? So you've got this inkling, you want to do something. To figure out, right, what business is the business for you. I think of these things as, I've got 3 buckets here. We're going to think about them as circles, and we're going to create a little Venn diagram because I love Venn diagrams. Okay. So on one of these circles, one of these bubbles, there's your knowledge, your skills, and your interests. So that is the foundation for what your business is going to be. What do you already have knowledge about? What are you skilled at? What are you interested in, right? Because that is going to play a major role in the type of business you start if you're not already sure what business you want to start. Then there'll be a topic that you feel pulled towards, right? So maybe there's something you're interested in. Like maybe there's something that you've already seen out there that you're like, ooh, I kind of like that. Like, ooh, I think I could do that, right? You feel a pull towards something already. And then the third part of this is that you need a market for your work, right? There's got to be people who are paying for the thing that you want to sell, right? Or the service that you want to provide. So when you take all 3 of those circles or bubbles together and you overlap them, that sweet spot in the center is the business that you need to start. Now, for each one of you, it's going to be different, right? But you need to think about these 3 areas: your knowledge, skills, and interests, the topic that you feel pulled to, and where there's a market for your work, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with any business besties of yours, people that want this information. Feel free to share it. Thank you guys so much for your time today. It really meant a lot to me. I hope you got a lot out of today, and I cannot wait to work with very many of you in the near future. Get into this Slack group so we can start chatting, girls. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Follow me on Instagram. Take advantage of the offer. Follow me on all the places. And I'll see you guys later, okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I love you. You're beautiful and you're charmed. Goodbye.